Okay, so you know how like hair dryers have a warning on them that say do not use while showering and stupid stuff like that where it must have happened at some point and now they have to put that warning on everything. So there's a couple of things that I get on phone calls. When people are calling, say, their doctor's office or just like some general, like they're not calling a hospital, they're just calling like their physician's assistant or their GP or whatever. And the voicemail thing that answers always says, if this is a medical emergency, please hang up and dial 911 or go to your nearest emergency room. Like, really? Like, you were your first thought somebody's fallen down and their arm is split in two, or, they are lying in a ditch somewhere. Your first thought is to call your GP and not to dial 911. And then the fact that they have to tell them to hang up and dial 911. Don't just right in the middle of this phone call, burp, 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 because that's not going to work. And another thing people apparently have to be told at the end of one of those long automated things that the old people like to yell at when they don't understand, it doesn't understand them. At the end of it, it'll always say, oh, it'll give you different options, for this, press 1, for this, whatever, press that. And to end this phone call, press 9, or simply hang up. What concept? Just hang up the phone. And I don't understand how people have to keep going through the menu over and over again. Like, I'll have somebody's answering machine, and it will say, the first thing it says is, you have no messages. Main menu. To listen to your messages, press 1. To send a message, press 2. And I'll have to go through this entire menu to get to the very end, and then they'll hang up. And I'm like, they didn't even have any messages. It's so annoying. Okay. All my 80s friends will appreciate this, or at least the girls, the women. I had a lady recommend, her brother or somebody she was talking to had a young 13-year-old daughter or whatever, who, he was trying to get her interested in books. So she recommended the Sweet Valley High series, which was wildly popular in the 80s. I read them. I devoured this line of books, okay? The whole series, all of them. I even watched the TV show that came out in the early 90s. But kids these days are not going to relate to those books. They took place in the 80s. They want to read books about kids who game and who have cell phones and who use the internet. They're not going to relate to the kids in Sweet Valley High. It would be like my mom would have recommended me a book that she read in freaking 1962, when I was a kid. I was just like, I was laughing. I was just like, you're ridiculous, lady. And I get crap like that all day long. It's just hilarious. Just thought I'd share.